Jennifer Aniston was once the most familiar face on American television. Her role as Rachel Green in Friends launched her to the peak of fame, bringing in tens of millions of dollars and making her a cultural icon for an entire generation. But off-screen, her life wasn't as simple as it seemed. She grew up in a fractured family, with her parents divorcing when she was just 9 years old. Her strained relationship with her mother left her with a lingering sense of loneliness that followed her into adulthood. Later, when she married Brad Pitt, the world thought she'd found her happy ending, but that marriage lasted only 5 years. Then came relationships with Vince Vaughn and Justin Theroux, each ending in heartbreak. Today, Jennifer lives alone, with no children and no remarriage, yet she has a fortune exceeding $320 million, a steady career, and the adoration of millions. The question is, after all the broken relationships and losses, how has Jennifer Aniston maintained an irreplaceable place in Hollywood? Jennifer Aniston grew up in a broken home, with divorced parents and a mother who often criticized her looks. Her childhood was filled with lonely years, lacking affection and confidence. 30 years later, she owns a fortune worth over $320 million, luxurious mansions, and is known worldwide by a single name, Rachel Green. How did a girl once told by her own mother she wasn't pretty enough to be famous become an icon beloved across America? Jennifer Aniston was born on February 11, 1969, in Sherman Oaks, California, surrounded by the glow of studio lights and the hum of scripted lines. Her father, John Aniston, was a star on Days of Our Lives. Her mother, Nancy Dow, was a model and actress with classic beauty. It seemed like Jennifer was destined to shine. But that glamour didn't light up her real life. When she was 9, her parents divorced. Her mother took her to New York, a city more crowded and colder than any movie she'd ever seen. Though they never went hungry or lacked clothes, their new home lost its laughter. Her relationship with her mother grew tense, leaving Jennifer with a loneliness that felt like the shadow of her own family. While her friends dreamed of lavish parties, Jennifer found comfort in painting and an imaginary world where everything could be mended. Could those hours sketching in a small room lead her to the stage's spotlight? At 11, she enrolled in Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts. Under the guidance of her teacher, Anthony Abison, she discovered her breath on stage, a place where she wasn't just someone's daughter, but herself, free and authentic. But a memory from when she was 15 cut deep. During a school play, she received a blunt critique: "You need to try harder." Jennifer walked off quietly, her heart heavy. Then, during an argument, her mother told her flatly, "You'll never be famous with your looks." Those words stung like a knife, leaving her silent, tears welling up. But in that moment, she made a vow to herself: one day, the world would see her shine. And so, could a girl living in someone else's shadow rise to create her own spotlight? Before Rachel Green won the hearts of America, Jennifer Aniston was turned down for dozens of roles, crying alone after each failed audition. Hollywood didn't open its doors to her, but she kept searching for a way forward, even when she wasn't sure she had the strength to go on. After graduating from New York's Performing Arts High School, Jennifer left the familiar city for Los Angeles, believing it was where dreams could come true. But Hollywood didn't roll out the red carpet in those early days. She scraped by with odd jobs, waiting tables, answering phones, even delivering packages just to cover rent for a cramped apartment. While many young actors had family support or big agencies behind them, Jennifer had only her persistence and a fragile dream. She wasn't afraid to audition, but every door seemed to slam shut. Sitcoms like Malloy and Ferris Bueller were canceled after a handful of episodes. Her first movie, Leprechaun, in 1992, was panned by critics, becoming a major flop that made her question whether she was cut out for acting. At one audition, a director told her bluntly, "You don't have the spark for the screen." Jennifer walked away, her heart heavy, but she pressed on, if only to keep her dream from fading completely. Then, a seemingly routine audition call had changed everything. She once described herself as invisible in a city of stars, no name, no backing, just quiet determination. And then, in 1994, a miracle happened when NBC geared up to produce the sitcom Friends. Jennifer was invited to audition for Rachel Green. No one could have predicted the character would become a TV icon. Jennifer's charm, wit, and relatable style turned Rachel into a woman both funny and heartfelt, touching audiences worldwide. Within a few seasons, she went from an unknown to America's most beloved star by the final season. Jennifer's paycheck reached $1 million per episode, a record-breaking figure for a female sitcom actress at the time. But even at the height of fame, challenges didn't let up. When rumors of tension among the Friends cast surfaced, some claimed Jennifer was pulling away from the group. She felt like the world was turning against her, yet she chose silence, letting her professionalism and discipline speak for her. That wasn't just resilience, it was her way of proving she didn't come to Hollywood just to be famous, but to be respected. And with the whole world finally seeing her, what would Jennifer do with the success she'd fought so hard to win? Once a girl serving coffee, trudging out of audition rooms with a heavy heart, Jennifer Aniston has now built an empire worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Friends wasn't just a turning point, it was the golden ticket that launched her to the top. Over 10 seasons, she earned more than $90 million in salary, not counting the $10 to $20 million she still makes each year from royalties. A stream of income that keeps flowing nearly 2 decades after the show ended. But Jennifer didn't stop at television, with Bruce Almighty grossing nearly $500 million worldwide and Marley and Me earning her an $8 million paycheck. She proved herself a true movie star on The Morning Show. She both acted and produced, commanding $1 to $2 million per episode, a figure matching Hollywood's most powerful names. Then she stepped beyond the spotlight. Jennifer co-founded Echo Films, producing works like Dumplin'. She launched her hair care brand Lolavie and sold her stake in Living Proof to Unilever for tens of millions of dollars. A TV star had quietly become a savvy businesswoman with sharp eyes and a clear strategy. But does that success translate to the lavish life we might imagine? Let's take a closer look. Unlike many Hollywood stars who favor opulent mansions or sky-high penthouses, Jennifer Aniston chooses a life that's grounded, private, and deeply personal for her. Each home isn't just property, it's a space for healing. Her main residence is in Bel Air, Los Angeles, valued at $20.1 million, designed by legendary architect A. Quincy Jones. The villa blends modern and natural elements, with stone facades, wooden roofs, and expansive glass doors framing panoramic views. There's no flashy color scheme, just a soothing palette of gray, wood, and ivory. The interiors, hand-picked by Jennifer, reflect her love for meditation and art. Tucked into the grounds is a Japanese-style tea room where she sits alone each morning, script in hand, as soft sunlight filters through small bamboo plants. A corner of the yard holds a tiny vineyard where Jennifer grows Italian grape varieties. She jokes that she's never learned winemaking, but loves tending the vines, a way to slow down amid Hollywood's rush. Perhaps her most private retreat is a ranch in Montecito, perched on a secluded hillside overlooking the ocean, bought from Oprah Winfrey for nearly $15 million. The property isn't grand in scale, but radiates a near meditative calm. The main house features an oak-paneled wine room, a living room with an antique stone fireplace, and an open kitchen where Jennifer cooks when assistants aren't around. She said this place helps her find balance after personal heartbreaks. And here's a curious detail. There's no TV in her bedroom. She wants nights free from media noise. Instead, a large bookshelf holds classic novels and old scripts, including an original copy of the Friends episode, the one where Ross finds out, with her handwritten notes in the margins. And beyond those quiet stone walls, what car does Jennifer drive around town? Her choices reveal more than you'd think. On the streets of Los Angeles, you won't catch Jennifer Aniston in a roaring supercar or a towering glossy SUV. She doesn't crave attention, but if you spot her elegant, understated, you might see her stepping out of a matte black Bentley Continental GT. No vanity plates, no flashy add-ons, just a woman who knows who she is, driving a car that suits her. Priced above $220,000, the Bentley's value for Jennifer isn't in the cost, but in its quiet engine, smooth steering, and the feeling of being herself in a city buzzing with fame. She doesn't chase an overflowing car collection like some stars. Jennifer chooses carefully, keeps it small, In her garage sits a classic Porsche 911 Targa from the 1970s, a nod to her love for retro culture. On clear days, she drives it along the Pacific Coast Highway, top down, hair catching the breeze, soul music drifting from the radio, like a time before social media. In those moments, she's not Jennifer Aniston, TV star, just Jennifer, a woman who loves freedom and California's coastal sun. Her Audi A8 is her workhorse, safe, luxurious, discreet, for press events, the morning show shoots, or studio visits. The Audi carries her with quiet dignity, not overly showy, but always respected. What's striking is that, despite having a driver, Jennifer prefers to drive herself when she can. She said those solo drives are rare moments when she doesn't have to perform. No assistants, no scripts, no one watching with expectations, just the road, music, and her. It's how she carves out privacy in a life laid bare to the public. A friend once noted, she's never in a rush. Even the way she drives feels gentle, like she's savoring a beautiful moment. But it's not just cars. How Jennifer spends, trains, and lives each day reflects a unique philosophy: simple, never ordinary. If you ask what Jennifer Aniston spends her money on, the answer might surprise you. It's not rare watches, lavish parties, or $10,000 handbags. For her, luxury is living at her own pace, slow, private, and deliberate. She wakes around 5:30 each morning, starting with warm lemon water and silent meditation. It's not a passing trend, but a decades-long habit to keep her mind clear in a chaotic world. Then comes 60 to 90 minutes of yoga, Pilates, or training with a private coach. Her home gym has no oversized mirrors or cameras, just sweat and focus. Her diet avoids sugar, gluten, and processed foods. She cooks many of her meals, favoring simple dishes like boiled eggs, avocado smoothies, or brown rice salads. But she's not rigid. She'll enjoy a martini or a thin slice of pizza on weekends. "I eat healthy to feel good, not to feel better than anyone else," she said. Jennifer's spending is equally selective. She's invested in a home spa, a Himalayan salt sauna, and high-tech skincare treatments, not for show, but because I want to feel fresh, not younger. Her rare shopping trips lean toward classic American brands like James Purse, Vince, or Rag & Bone, logo-free, timeless, refined. Her hobbies are surprisingly down-to-earth: gardening, watercolor painting, and, notably, handwriting. Jennifer loves jotting everything: scripts, journals, business ideas on paper. She says handwriting helps her hold on to thoughts instead of letting them slip away on a phone screen. Nothing about these habits is extravagant, but every detail shows a woman who chooses control to avoid being swept up in fame's whirlwind. And in that slow, peaceful rhythm, how does Jennifer find her place in family and community? Jennifer Aniston has never been one to live alone, but she's also never chased crowds. After Friends, Glow, and blockbuster films, she built a small, trusted circle, intimate and grounding. Friends like Courtney Cox, Reese Witherspoon, and her longtime hairstylist, Chris McMillan, aren't just colleagues. They're the ones who join her for weekly dinners, call to ask, "You okay?" and know when to show up or give her space. She doesn't attend every premiere, but she's there for quiet birthdays or discreet getaways to Cabo or Hawaii. No reporters, no flashbulbs, just laughter, candles, and home-cooked meals. For Jennifer, those are the moments that truly matter. Though she has no children, Jennifer plays the role of sister, friend, and confidant to both her blood family and her chosen one, in her Bel Air home, with a warm fireplace and dogs padding at her feet. She's crafted a small, fulfilling world, rich but never loud. Love. It's been there, real, beautiful, but not always lasting. Her marriage to Brad Pitt, romance with Vince Vaughn, and years with Justin Theroux each left a mark, a lesson, sometimes a quiet ache, but she never let them dim her light. We'll dive deeper into those in the next part, where career and personal life collide in unavoidable undercurrents. Behind this poised, accomplished woman are heartbreaks she's never fully shared. Stay with us for the next chapter, where Jennifer Aniston faces not just scandals, but her own emotions. When the whole world watches your every step, how do you hold on to yourself when your life becomes a story for others to tell? In July of 2000, Jennifer Aniston walked down the aisle with Brad Pitt, a fairy tale wedding the media dubbed the meeting of two stars. But just 5 years later, the marriage crumbled under the gaze of millions. Rumors of infidelity, Angelina Jolie's presence on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and a media storm cost Jennifer not just her husband but her privacy. She didn't give long interviews, didn't trade barbs in public. Instead, she turned to therapy, leaned on close friends, and focused on what kept her grounded: work, exercise, and quiet moments. Behind her red carpet smiles were many nights of silent tears. A journey from being a wife to becoming a woman who learned to stand alone without feeling empty. She loved again. Vince Vaughn, her co-star in the breakup, brought laughter after months of sorrow. Then came Justin Theroux, with whom she built a home for nearly a decade. But that love story didn't reach a lasting end either. Their marriage quietly ended in 2018, no drama, no blame, just mutual respect and the space each needed to move forward. After Friends, Jennifer couldn't escape doubts about her career. Many thought she'd forever be Rachel, unable to outgrow the sitcom's shadow. But with her raw performance in Cake in 2014, she forced critics to take notice. The role didn't win an Oscar, but it gave her something greater: recognition as a deeply authentic actress. Her greatest challenge, though, wasn't a role or a romance, it was prejudice. For years, the press hounded her about not having children. Some pitied her, others judged. Finally, Jennifer spoke out. In a 2022 essay, she candidly shared that she had tried. She'd gone through unsuccessful fertility treatments, and in the end, she chose to live with that truth, not for pity, but to reclaim her right to silence. And from those wounds, a different legacy began to take shape, not from her roles, but from how Jennifer chose to live true to herself. What makes a story not just remembered but relived through millions of people? Jennifer Aniston may not have the most awards on her shelf, but she's the one audiences hold on to because they see a piece of themselves in her. From the naive Rachel Green to a seasoned woman, Jennifer doesn't just play characters, she lives them. And in doing so, she helps her audience live more authentically too. With Friends, she left a cultural mark that spans generations, not just with the iconic Rachel haircut, but through a lifestyle, independence, charm, and an unconditional spirit of friendship. The show became a global phenomenon, but it was Jennifer who gave Rachel a heart and depth that can't be replicated. She went on to prove her worth with The Morning Show, where she starred, produced, and became a voice for women's empowerment on modern television. Her role didn't shy away from psychological cracks or pretend at perfection, and that's exactly what made it resonate with viewers. A net worth of over $320 million is impressive, but what truly makes Jennifer Aniston rich is respect. She doesn't need to shout to be heard. A single essay, a quiet reflection on her therapy journey, or a calm response to toxic media is enough to comfort millions. Women without children, those healing from pain, anyone who's felt lost in a world full of expectations, they find in Jennifer someone who gets them. She doesn't call herself a role model, but her choice to stay silent when hurt, to speak up when it matters, and to live true to herself has made her an icon, not for being perfect, but for being real. Jennifer Aniston's journey isn't just for her fans. It's for anyone who's ever felt not enough, been wounded, faced tough choices and kept going. What about Jennifer sticks with you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story moved you, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so we can keep sharing inspiring journeys like this one together.